TikTok views are down. Let's go into it. Aidan, no, there's no need for any fucking introduction. We'll just get straight to it. Why are TikTok views down at the moment?
Easy answer. No, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Part of me wonders if it's the change of hands.
I don't think they would do anything to the product. Like, why would they sell it and then immediately do something to the product? So I don't know what's up with that, but I'm noticing more and more of my content being flagged ineligible for recommendation. So those are getting no traction.
Well, it's interesting. I think something that I've noticed is that there's been kind of an increase in censorship and certain words and keywords being used on TikTok is interesting. And something else that I heard is that a lot of the content is like old batch content doing really well, but the new stuff's just dipping. Like I've seen big content creators who I look up to, and it's like they're getting like, they can't even get past 4,000 views on TikTok. It's like, damn.
Nightmare, dude.
It's funny because TikTok, I think, has gone up in censorship even more, and Instagram's going down in censorship.
Mate,
dude, honestly, I will never bet against Instagram. I really won't.
You can't beat the Zuck. It's the Zuck aura. You can't beat it. He's just aura pointing. It's too much.
He's aura pointing.
You can't beat that man, honestly. But look, Aidan, we've kind of gone straight into it. For people that don't know who you are, just like, what are you up to? Carson's given me a bit of an introduction to you, and you're a bit of the organic man. Like anything organic, yours.
So I'm a professional pickleball player. No, I make memes and skits for a living. So my agency, we work with software companies. So right now we work with companies like Zapier, Apollo, Trainual, Palo Alto Networks. We've done work with ClickUp. We work with Clay. So bigger software companies, and our entire focus is giving them content that is funny and that they can put on their brand socials.
Okay. I think the most important question that any viewer will have is, how do you curate humor? Or is it natural? How do you scale humor?
Humor is definitely a skill that can be learned, which is a good thing. One of the reasons why I chose this business is because it was a skill that came naturally to me. So I already felt like I had a competitive advantage. But yeah, we've built some systems internally to scale that, but also just hiring people who have the sauce already and are naturally funny. So anybody we work with already skews funny. Like we've even worked with Carson on a few things, and that's really what we look for. But you can train someone to be funny. It's about timing. It's about understanding what makes people laugh. The truth makes people laugh. Pulling on things that everyone is aware of in their subconscious, but nobody's brought to the conscious. That makes people laugh. And those are just like some simple fundamentals, but you can like use a formula to make people laugh. It's not like just this like born skill. Like some people are born with it, but you can learn it.
I would love to really touch on that a bit more. So it's a formula and it can be learned. Can you explain that process?
Yeah, like the best comics in the world, they're that good because they spent years being so shitty. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss, but so it's like all those reps and learning and like seeing what pulls people. Your girl's blowing you up. Your girl's blowing you up.
I bloody wish. No, it's just work. Sorry. That's what we dealt with.
Let's go. Yeah. So like back to that point, it's truth and understanding what everyone's thinking, but no one's saying. And the way you get to that is just studying your audience and like just doing a ton of research on them. Whether that like in a marketing sense, a literal marketing sense, it's going into Reddit communities, seeing what language is being used, what problems are coming to the forefront, and then pulling on those in the content.
Yeah. But then what intrigues me though then is like a lot of people, in the classic, right? They go onto Reddit, they scrape it, they'll whack it into the LLM, and they'll think they're a marketer or a researcher. What are the non-scalable things you do when looking at it? Like how do you approach that kind of learning phase?
Yeah. The reps that like me personally that I've just had of knowing like that it's the taste, like a tastemaker. I can just see what's going to hit and what's not going to hit, or what's going to have, what's going to have a higher likelihood of hitting than not hitting. Sometimes I'm wrong, but that is like an intangible that just comes with reps and like doing it for 5 years.
One thing too that I want to touch on as well is because I think this is something you guys do very well that applies very, very much so to great advertising is the sense of you're finding you're finding pain points in like relatability and using those to create humor, right? And like for us, relatability is everything because that's what gets conversions, it's what connects with people. So how do you take the relatability aspect and really apply it to the social, especially for B2B? Because I know, we've talked about this, but for the audience as well, like, B2B is not this exciting, super funny thing. It's pretty, more so serious. And you've
Yep.
talked a lot about, the side of you're able to be funny if you do it right.
Percent. So there's like two big things. When people think of like humor on socials, they think of unhinged and chaotic, like Duolingo. And most of the brands we work with don't have an appetite for that. And their consumers wouldn't resonate with that because consumers are buying this software when they're in their job. They're in serious mode versus people are buying and using Duolingo when it's a Saturday. Maybe they've had a cocktail. And so they're more open and warm to that crazy of them killing their mascot. And that's their marketing. The second piece to being able to pull in the pain points is like we're working with serious brands, and at the end of the day, like metrics and like they need an ROI. So we still have to communicate to our viewers audience. Like this is not just for fun. Like we have to communicate to them that like, hey, by the way, this company's product solves your pain. And so that's why we are super focused on pain points, because pain points are relatable and that's what gets people to share, which is like our North Star goal. Like if we're getting people to share our content in Slack over text, getting our clients logos in those different scenarios, that's a win for us. But pain points, like that's the relatable piece. That's what gets people to share, gets people to laugh, but it also subconsciously communicates that like, holy shit, this company's aware of what I'm feeling. Like, how do they know I'm feeling that? Their product must solve these pains if they're communicating to me in their messaging that they're aware of these pains that I have.
But it's interesting to me that because it's like I'm guessing the difficulty is you're saying, some people haven't got the appetite to do Duolingo. Do you think a lot of brands actually need to kind of allow themselves to be more flexible in that channel, to be a bit more humorous? Or do you think actually you respect their choices to not go too extreme?
Yeah,
Do you think,
I actually, I tell brands, like, I reel them in sometimes. I'm like, we're not going to do what Duolingo does. One of the biggest factors of why that works for them is the differentiator. They're the
yeah,
first like company to go that far and be really like a stream of consciousness was their social strategy. It was just like whatever comes to their head, post it. And so that differentiation was huge. There's a lot of brands getting on that wave now where I'm
yeah,
just like, hey, we're gonna tie this super modern era of marketing, which is meme marketing, and apply like long-standing fundamentals to it,
yeah.
like using psychology, conscious and subconscious forms of communication, and
Mm,
like focusing on pain points and like trying to merge the two so that it's a brand building play and less of like quick hits on social, like just go viral for this day. Like we want to actually help them compound and be known for like
yeah.
this cold call with me series or this micromanaging my manager series or whatever it may be.
I want to touch on that as well because I know you've talked about on socials like how bullish you are this year on series. So what do you think is, the positive of series first, and two, do you think it's beneficial to go more the route of like quick meme skit series, or do you think it's like, because there's a certain coffee brand, I forget who it is, that's like done very high production series, kind of longer form on social. What do you think is best, or do you think it's just dependent on the brand?
Yeah, I think it's very dependent on the brand and their resources. Like maybe that brand already has like a huge in-house production like arm of their business. And so building out a full suite commercial style grade series is not too hard. But if you're like a series A startup and you have two marketers on your team and one of you is good in front of camera and the other is like a more senior marketer, definitely go the route of world building through these skits that could be 15 to 50 seconds long, because I've been a one person marketing team before and creative burnout is always just nipping at your heels. It's always so close. It's like gonna get you, gonna get you, gonna get you. Then you get to PTO and you have a week off and then you're like, all right, I can reset. That's the cycle. To combat that, what series do, it gives you guardrails and it's like, all right, we have a format that we're going to create in. It's going to have the
Mm,
same intro every time, the same outro every time, same goal every time, but the script and like the meat of it is going to shift a little bit every episode. And so believe it or not, the guidelines give you more creativity and it just makes it so much more efficient to create content at scale. And also you're brand building through that format. Your brand is becoming synonymous with that format. So when people see that format, even if your competitor did it, they're going to think of your brand. You know, like one thing we did with Apollo is this cold call with me series where we have a creator who's just like dialing, like we give them a list of like these fake names at fake companies that are funny. It's like a Key and Peele skit. And like now if Apollo's competitors tried to do that, they'd see that video and be like, they'd think of Apollo first, even if Lucia posted it. So that's a long way of saying like it depends on your resources. I have no experience to date right now working with or at a company that has the capability to do like full production commercial style shoots yet, because most of the companies we work with are startups and they like to be social native first. So the iPhone is king.
Yeah. Yeah,
What do
it's
you
interesting.
think I was gonna say, what do you think the benefits of series are for brands?
It's the brand building play and the world building you can effortlessly weave in product placement, and like it's that prevention of creative burnout. Like it's a very simple way to prevent creative burnout. Like just come up with a few series and stick to those series. Those are like the big four.
That I need to get on that. Do
Yeah.
more.
It's
Back to that.
it's interesting because me and Carson have very different philosophies in organic content. Mine is, I'll show it off camera. It's like mine's very just algorithm hacking, right? It's just finding it's just the same video over and over again, but just changing hooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the visual hook works really well, and it's just the title hook changes every time, and it's done incredibly well. I mean, it's done bloody well actually. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because what I've noticed is that burnout, because it's like it's always, as you say, right? Even though you get the same visual, the audience gets fatigued. So I've had people in my space be like, "Bro, A, you're everywhere, but B, if I see another of this hook again, I'm gonna." So it's very interesting, that thing with the
Can
series.
you share screen? Can we look at it right now or no?
I will out myself on camera. Oh, let me get it up a second. Bro, it's bad. It's bad. It's the same. To be fair, it popped off. Hold on. There you are, let me show you. Hold on. This is wait. 1 second. Screen. Wait. I can edit this. Don't worry. There we are. Can you see my screen? You see it?
It's loading.
I can't see anything.
Is it not loading?
All right, it's fine. It's not loading. No, it's not loading. All right, the world may never know.
The world will never know of Luke doing "I love Gen Z." What do you mean? This is a library of winning ads. Why did that not work? Okay, fine.
Carson, can you hear me?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I may be the problem. But anyway, so we were going to try and show Luke's incredible example of UGC on a one-man show. I mean, it's got a lot of views. I mean, I think we've done in total, we've done 2.2 million, which has been wild as an experiment. I mean, it's just, there's no creativity. And that's the question I've been dying to ask you is how.
Oh, he got killed. It's all right. We'll take it from here. How important is creativity in terms of, you guys using it for organic, or are you more of the notion that, it's less about what you can conjure up that's new and more what you can iterate?
That's a really good question. I think the idea is super, super important. No matter how efficient your systems are, or like you can have a shitty idea and phenomenal actors and they can make that a B+ product. But like the idea is super important. And if the concept is not there, like it's not going to pull on people's like hoopta to watch. So that is a big piece to it, like creative ideation. But I think people they overthink ideation. And ideation in my eyes is ignore everybody, ignore your competitors, sit down and start writing. Whereas most people think ideation is go to your competitors, look at what they're doing, copy what they're doing. So I'd like an alternative approach to that.
Luke, I was carrying on your question.
Thank you. We've got some Wi-Fi difficulties in London currently, or in the office. I don't think the whole of London has the same difficulties, but we've definitely got them in the office. But I'm intrigued by that because you are right, Aidan. So many people they look for inspiration from the competitors. Do you think brands need to get, again, as you say, get rid of that thinking? But if someone was like day one trying to get rid of that habit, how would you teach them to? Would you just say, look at completely different niches for inspiration. Don't even look at your own one ever. Like, what would that training guide be?
Yeah, I would even take a step further than like look at different niches for inspiration. Look at different mediums for inspiration, like long form podcast, or like out of home, or like a public speaker's cadence and pacing. So that's what I would say. Those take inspiration from other mediums as well, and just have confidence that that's a huge piece of style and taste is like confidence in what you're choosing.
It's interesting because when I look at inspiration, I'd love to hear your view on this. It's like I'm quite cynical in metrics. I'm not. I jokingly say I'm not Steven Spielberg. Like I'm not going to be able to come up with this great 30-part series. Like you know how that bank did the built that card, the New York
The
one. Is it built?
oh
What's it
yeah,
called?
yeah, yeah.
Like as you were saying, like so many companies want to do that and they haven't got the budget or the actual marketing power or the staff or whatever. So mine is the complete opposite. Mine is just like I will copy videos that have got high shares to high like ratios where it's got a low view account. So it's got a low follow account, but it's got high like velocity. And that's how I've always approached it. But
Mhm.
I'm not very creative. I just steal aggressively. But it's interesting that you're saying that's actually not a good strategy. You're saying actually be more.
So it depends what you're trying to do. Like my thought on that is if you're right, like if you're doing what everyone else is doing, the best you're going to be is second place. You can't beat someone else at their game. So you got to bring people into your game so you can beat them. But if you're strapped for resources and, like it's all different goals. Like most of the brands we work with, they're at this point where their software is damn near identical to their competitors.
Yeah.
Their pricing, they can only change pricing or format it in so many different ways that the biggest thing for them is just like brand and differentiating so that when people think of this pain, they think of their product. And so that's why we're super focused on like ignoring what their competitors do because that differentiation and mind share is huge. But like, I don't know. So are you creating content for like your personal account or is this a company account?
I am now 100% confident that I will be able to share my screen. Is it working now?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is a first reveal. So let me get rid of this here. So this is currently what I do. So you have videos like this where it's literally the hook is very calculated and it just cuts to the product demo. And then people
Yep.
say, and then it's got like a many chat automation in the back.
Yep.
And this has
That's
been
money.
money. I mean, mate, honestly, it's been wild. Like you had that video popped off, this then popped off. Mate, the comments in this were brutal. One goes, mate, you cannot do this hook. I was like, okay, but I need to have a rest. I was like, damn. But it's wild. Like this takes me 20 minutes filming.
Yep. And you
It's
do
the
a
same
bunch of these iterations.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that is what like with the series, like that's it. That's what we're getting at. Like it's super scalable and believe it or not, the guidelines provide tons of opportunity for
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah. And like I mean, this one was a fun one. That was a format that was going really viral. But yeah, I've just like, again, same format. I love Gen Z. That hook works every time.
Yep.
And it just prints. And it's wild. Because again, it's like, I mean, I'm sharing my screen. But that's the thing, right? I think you said it really well. And I love to hear what get Carson interview in this one. It's like when you're a team of, let's say you're a marketing commercial team of one, right? It's how can you create that minimal viable content? And to me, that's my approach. It's like very simple. I can film it in a day. How do you think a brand finds that minimal viable content for them? Is it just a curation? Is it just tons of reps? Do they find that content that works, or what's your view on that?
Yeah, definitely reps, certainly reps. And like it all just starts like these opportunities become so clear the more familiar you become with your target audience. So it's like just the front end research and then you'll see the opportunities, but it's also a lot of reps. Like so many brands are just afraid of, like they think it should take 3 posts to get any traction and they should see results immediately like they do on paid, but that's just the furthest thing from the truth.
True.
So yeah, but I like that format, dude. Is that your personal Instagram?
That's well, I've got two. I've got two burners. That's not my personal. I haven't really built a personal brand on Instagram. I've always gone on LinkedIn. That's where I've spent most of my time. But I just find the algorithm on Instagram more mature than LinkedIn. LinkedIn's is the Wild West. I mean, Carson, when I first met Carson actually a couple of months ago, the amount of times that you just comment and they're saying, for fuck's sake. I like, I was like, this kid, I love this guy. But I just see that, but oh, this guy hates LinkedIn's algorithm so much.
Yeah, and then
It's
he
just-
decided to just go on Instagram and go viral as shit. So
Yeah.
he left us.
No, I know. He left LinkedIn Bros and was like, "Fuck it, I'm going on IG."
Yeah. I spend most of my time elsewhere now.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, but to kind of go back to your question, Aidan, for me, it's like I look at. I don't know. I think these burner accounts, what I've learned is you're right. I mean, it's just a format. The other account I'm scaling is a very simple format where it's literally me filming my laptop and then me opening the screen. And it's like, this is the best tool ever. And then it's the delay of waiting for the screen to show them the tool. I mean, that's just ripped.
Yeah.
But the question I struggle with is like, how do you, I don't know, like there's a difference between engagement and intent. And I'd love to hear, when you're approaching this problem with customers, have you had content where it gets tons of views, but no intent? There's no purchasing, but it's got tons of engagement. How do you play with that problem?
Yeah, like the interesting thing with most of the brands we work with, they're pretty niche in a sense that like, when someone says like blanket statement viral, in my eyes, that's like 1 million views. But with most of the companies we're working with, they might only have like 300,000 buyers in the world. And so if we are getting 1 million views on a video, we are doing something wrong, because that means there's people that can't buy or add any value to the business viewing this content. Like a good example of this is this company called The Bazaar that we've been working with since the beginning of last year. And they're a wholesale closeout business, like super niche, but it's a big business in the Chicago area. And they sell to independent retailers. I don't know how many independent retailers there are in the United States, but my guess is like maybe 100,000. And so like viral for them would be 10,000 views. That's reaching 10% of the entire market. Yeah. And so all that to say, like if we're doing our job correctly and speaking to the right target audience, the intent will be there regardless of the views. And if you're just kind of just doing whatever to go viral, then that's where you get in the result of views with no intent.
How do you think too that, like, because I have my own idea of this, but how do you think that, organic and what you guys do can inform paid media?
I think brands should just take their biggest winners on organic and throw them on paid.
I agree.
Yeah. Like
I think that, and I think that based off of what content does really well, especially with how you guys do it, you're going to know what pain points are funny and what you can take from that to start running as ads. Like you get the angle out of it in my eyes.
Yeah, you get the angle where you can literally see the social proof from that organic social post that your target audience wants to consume this content or it resonated with them. So might as well just take that social proof and apply it to your page strategy instead of shooting blindly there.
But it's interesting because I feel like if you look at what a lot of the old e-com brands are saying, they say, look, hey, if we were starting today, we'd focus all on organic. And I think brands that's all I would do. Because I've seen personally, if you find the right format, it just takes a bit of time. You find content market fit. I mean, the back end stuff is remarkable. I mean, you just won't beat it, right? It's insane.
Yeah, because the difference between organic and paid, we can just turn the faucet on immediately, see results immediately, but it gets more expensive over time to get those same results. Organic social, you can't turn the faucet on immediately. It takes forever to get to a point where you see the results you want to see, and it gets cheaper over time to get those same results. So it's one of those things, like, I don't think it's you should only be doing organic, only do paid, but realize both of their unique value props and don't try to force one into being the other.
It's like it's a different feedback loop, isn't it? If you've got, it's the dream scenario, right? Where organic dictates paid, and then paid then sometimes can help dictate kind of organic in a way. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you're saying it's right. The dream scenario is every ad you'd make video-wise would bang organically, just put a bit of paid behind it, and you can just really focus the geolocation of that ad, and you'd print.
Yeah. There's not much. I do think people overthink that.
They really do.
It's like, they silo the two.
Precisely. But why do you think that? Do you think it's just like people were brought up in kind of that paid engine? Organic wasn't really a function of the business. People didn't really take much account to it. And now people are trying to catch up? Or
I've noticed the people that overlook organic social the most are just the people that are the most uneducated about its actual impact on the business. And they see it as a cost center because there's no immediate results. And they're substantially more resistant to investing in it because it's an immediate cost center. Whereas paid can be an immediate value provider if you have someone doing it well. But the few people that have either been at a company or experienced it from their own channels, like the network effects of attention organically, it's like a no-brainer. They'll eat shit for 6 months to try and get to that point. And those are the brands that like a ClickUp, that now they are like the biggest B2B company with a social media presence, at least from my eyes.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to be relevant is to culturally dictate the tone, and to do that, you must understand your audience and then build organic content around that. Those and relatability. But again, just kind of like some kind of like last questions on my end would be why, again, you talk about how, certain brands, they try and shoot for the moon, and actually it's probably better to like do the fundamentals really well. What do you think the fundamentals are to great pieces of content? You said you said the relatability, you've said triggering the pain points. Are there any other things they need to get right?
It's speaking and acting like your ideal customer. People say they want to be authentic on socials. What that really means is like you just need to be speaking using the exact like diction that your target audience uses. So like, if you're like a D2C brand targeting 17-year-old like boys, like say bruh, like use that in your copy. Like cause that signals to them that like, oh, this company is me.
Rhythm with the tism is a word. Yeah, I've heard of that. That's one that I've
That's
heard.
true. Dude, that'll get you arrested in the UK if you say that,
No. I don't even. Yeah, rhythm with the tisms is yeah. Obviously, it's really interesting that you say that because I think it's such a good point. And I really would just recommend anyone listening. And it's like that sense of you need to understand that every industry has a culture and keywords around it, right? There's certain words to describe how people talk about it. If you can nail those, then you'll nail the market because you know exactly how to speak to them.
Yep,
And I
very
think
much so.
it sounds complicated, but it's really simple when you words it in your way. It's
Yeah.
just go on Reddit, understand how they talk about the problem. But I really want to hear about your views on the UGC programs running running riot right now. You've got Whisperflow, Polymarket, Kelshi. I think they've just done like a pop-up in New York for 4 days. Have you seen that on X? Have you seen that?
No, I did not see that, but I'm very familiar with like all the guerrilla like stuff they're doing.
What's your views on that from a brand perspective, from engagement / intent?
I think, it definitely works, and like they're freaking everywhere, and so that is a huge play, and I don't think enough B2B SaaS companies employ that strategy at all. Like UGC at scale, most B2B SaaS companies are just now warming up to the fact of working with influencers. Like that's like a big thing now. It's like working with influencers, and there's still a year, 2 years removed away from working with UGC creators. And like, instead of paying $2,000 for a post, you pay $25 per post and you work with 100 UGC creators. I think there's an opportunity there. Like I ran just a fun campaign for myself in June. It was like a fake layoff bot. And I just did I hired a few UGC creators. Carson made some videos, and the whole goal was drive traffic to this landing page, which was called layoffbot.io. And it looked like a real software where you could automate your layoffs, and it went very viral. But any button on that site would just redirect you to my website. So I got a bunch of traffic from it. We signed our biggest client ever as far as retainer wise. But that was just a good proof of concept for us that, the guerrilla marketing from the ground floor with the UGC creators it worked.
Oh, I can say on our end on the website, we've had over 187,000 visitors. I mean, it's what honestly, as a team, we were so angry. We just put an email wall in. Like currently, you could just use the tool for free. We put the email wall in, right? Within a week, we've just hit 10,000 plus emails.
Sick.
Because it works. And again, and I always say to people, the cost I call it cost per asset. Like, how long does it take for me to make an asset, right? And I see so many teams do this where they'll do like a 9-hour filming session, have 2 pieces of content, and be like, why have I not gone viral? It's like, you're spending too long here. You're spending too long. Your skits are perfect example of that. They're not like, you don't sit for 5 hours filming them, right? It probably takes you 10 minutes. There's just lots of research, right? I'm not saying you don't research it, but like filming time and scripting is probably not going to take you 9 hours,
No, certainly not, which is one of the reasons why we make that format. I would say the only time we're sitting down for 9 hours to build out a concept is if you have a moonshot idea, like Dollar Shave Club's launch video 15 years ago.
100%.
And where there's a chance it could do 150 million views versus a skit series that can do 5 million views. But where the difference is the idea, going back there. And the idea is what will take it from a moonshot to a waste of time.
My last question in my corner, I know Carson likes to end with a good question. So mine will be, what in your opinion makes a good idea versus a bad idea? Is it the outcome, or is it the fact that how do you define a good idea versus a bad idea?
That is a really good question. Dude, look, you're fucking smart, bro. These questions are very inquisitive. These are very inquisitive. Is it the outcome Yes, it's the outcome. The ROI is what makes a good idea. So I guess you can't tell if something's a good idea until the results are in.
Yeah.
The tastemakers can see a peek into that ROI before anything's executed. And that's why you have like the Rick Rubins of the world. And
that beard, like that would be like, I would be happy with life. I would walk away from everything to have that beard. I mean, I don't know what your views are on that, Aidan, but that's where my head's at.
dude, I mean, I know I could not rock that shit. I eat too many chicken wings, bro. I eat too many buffalo wings.
Bro, wait, did you ever see my chicken wing series on LinkedIn? Have you ever stumbled upon that? Did you ever see that?
No.
You should have posted all those on Instagram, Luke. Those would have done hilarious.
You still can.
Oh, mate. I can. I mean, just a bit of context, then we'll have Carson's question. When I first joined Big, they said do marketing, and I was like, So can I buy a lab coat, some goggles, and do chicken wings and just call out brands? So I just ate spicy wings and just copied the hot ones format.
Hot wings, yeah,
hot ones, and just went higher and higher and higher. And it's like a 30-day challenge, and I drove like 150,000 impressions over the 30 days for a fresh account.
Sick.
So it's like, I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's just an example of like how when you start anything, you just do a series. I understand your viewpoint. Like series are really good because it puts the guardrails in place. It's genius. Carson, it's time to hit him with the pinnacle question.
The last question I'm going to piggyback off of what Luke said is how much of the time is it, you have an idea and you execute on it and you have an inkling it's a great idea, but maybe it's the execution was off. So when do you guys know in organic, okay, we need to retry and iterate this idea or we should scrap it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a shitty answer, but like it's a gut feeling, I would say, because there's a ton of concepts. Like I have it on my to-do list today to look through all these concepts that like I just have saved in my folder that we've recorded and I edited, and I'm going to look through them all and see like none of them really performed well. These are from like 6-8 months ago. Wanted to make sure I didn't say 6-7 months ago, but that's on my radar of like going through these and like seeing, all right, do any of these have legs if we just need to tweak some things? One thing that like really sits with me, like a concept that didn't get traction, but I know would, is back when Seamus would work with us, he had a beard and he shaved his beard like the equivalent of like a West Virginia hillbilly. And it was crazy. It was like he had a handlebar mustache and mutton chops. And he wore a Taco Bell hat and a cutoff. And he joined a call and it was like a fake sales call. And it was hilarious, but it didn't do anything on social. So I think the concept is there of like a wild character joining a sales call and just seeing what happens after that. But at the moment, I guess we just didn't execute as well. But to answer your question, it's a gut feeling.
Yeah,
for me.
I think so too.
But also as well, I think unfortunately there's a lot of sod's law in organic, and I can give you an example where I posted one video and it got 5,000 views, and then I went to post another video a couple of like 6, 7, 8 hours later. I posted it. I come back and go, oh shit, it's the exact same video. But that video was just like 50x'd it. It went on to like 100K. There's no skill there. It is literally the exact same video. There's no changes.
Yep.
Like zero.
I mean, I do that. I do that all the time. There's so many people that are resistant to doing that, but I word for word copy repost content all the time.
Trial reels are like the greatest blessing that God gave. Well, that Instagram that Zuck gave from his aura energy. Yes, trial.
It's like, hilarious,
mate. Honestly, but I think trial reels is the big unlock for brands because it also counters the classic, oh, this isn't brand safe, or well, if no one finds it funny, well, just trial reel it. If it pops off, then put it on your feed. You've got social proof. If it doesn't, then no harm lost.
So I have a question for both of you. The Super Bowl is up this Sunday. If you had, I saw the ads are going for 10 million. If you had 10 million bucks for a campaign, and it's, let's say it's March of 2025, right? So you have multiple things on your radar. You have a year until the Super Bowl. You have $10 million that you want to allocate to one campaign. What do you do with it? Do you like, are you like bought in on the idea that you can get an ROI from a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl? Or I'm unsure. Like, I don't know.
I think for me, I would look at I think how I approach anything is look at the rules that you're playing. So what's this throwing you in, and then completely do the opposite. I mean, Kanye did a great example of that with his video for his clothing, right? Or Yee, whatever he's called now. Like he nailed that with that like 9x16, native TikTok thing. It just broke the pattern. So I'd be looking at how can I make an ad that can break that, and something that people won't see before. Because me and Carson last week went through the ones from last year, and God, it's like either they're incredible or they're really bad. I can't, do you not agree, Carson?
Yeah, they were terrible. There was probably 5 last year that were actually good.
So I think my answer would be yeah, sorry.
But for me, I would absolutely make the investment, but you would see a completely different ad from what you'd normally see in the Super Bowl. It would be very low production, filmed from a phone. I'd have somebody put a QR code in right next to the middle on the right side. So when people look at the video, they see a QR code right to the right in order to go to the website. And at the very bottom, I'd put the website, the link to it, or the just the URL, and basically just like talk to the phone and do a skit. You could even do it where you're just putting the phone down on like, a kitchen counter or whatever, but do something like Luke said, like what Kanye did. Just make it more of like a UGC and social aspect, because people are going to hear something from what you say and see it and be like, what the fuck is going on my TV? But one of the greatest ads of Super Bowl history to me will always be Tubi's ad in, I think it was maybe 3 years ago, something like that. Do you guys remember what this one was? Tubi in the middle of the Super Bowl. They started the broadcast as if they were back to the Super Bowl with the broadcast booth and whatever. So everybody thought that you were in. And then it clicked and stopped the video and went to the homepage of like what your TV would be. And everyone thought that their TV, they were like, hey, what happened? And then it goes to Tubi. And then it says, I think it was like, watch TV uninterrupted with Tubi or whatever, like something like that. And I was like, that's how you do it. That is the greatest Super Bowl out of all time, in my opinion, bar none, because it completely broke everyone in the household and everybody erupted in chaos. Like, what just happened? Who did this?
Who touched, that classic.
Who touched the remote? Who sat on the remote? So like, that to me is like the option that I would go for, because it's completely different than what everybody else is doing.
I do really like that. I was going to say, I think the best, and like they do on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, they do this occasionally where I think it's a low lift is like, all right, I don't know who's calling the game, but let's say it's like Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, like put them in an ad in a booth where you cannot tell if the game is, if it's cut back to the game or if it's like still on commercial, like, and that's like, I feel like a good pattern interrupt.
It's huge.
I think that is the lesson of today's video, really, isn't it? It's just like, look at the game you're playing, don't copy your competitors, see what they're up to, but just completely pattern, do something completely different,
Yeah.
Because if you copy, I mean, I don't know, it's an interesting one. It's that rat race to the bottom, and it's a fun one. I mean, look, hell yeah. I mean, look, that was an absolutely great episode. I mean, it was chaotic, but I loved it. I think that this is like facts. Luke's really awkward organic content play. Carson chirping in when needed, and then Aidan cooking. Fantastic! What an episode! What an episode!
Yeah, Aidan, appreciate you having us on. Go ahead, give yourself a shout out as well for our low amount of viewers that might be B2B SaaS.
Yeah, dude. Just look up noburnbrands.co and holler at your boy, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, appreciate you both.
Of course, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks everybody for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and send this to anybody you might think either wants to hear this episode or that wants to work with Aidan. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.